morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? Or if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, how are you this evening? I hope everyone has a great day. I think that came out right. Anyhow, have a great day, everyone. But we're at the beginning of this, and today I want to share with you information to help you when you feel that things aren't going your way. And with complex PTSD, we can feel that way because we haven't been equipped in our younger years with information and examples, especially examples. Oh my goodness, we miss out on this whole vault of examples of healthy living and how to communicate, how to understand the social aspects of life. And so we need to not only rebuild our authentic self, but reclaim our authentic self and bring that forward. Now, the other side to feeling like when things don't go our way is if or when we're dealing with somebody who has narcissistic tendencies. So they can be very selfish and self-centered, and the conversations that you have are not a two-way street. You're aware that unless you recognise what's happening for them and, sorry about this word, but pander to them and what they're saying, that you have no chance of being heard. And so what do? What do we do in these situations when we feel that things aren't going our way? Now, another dimension to this too is that when we're adult, saying something like, I feel that things aren't going my way, is like saying, can feel internally like we're saying, I want everything my way. And that's not the truth. Okay, that is not the truth for the type of people that we are. It's not that we want everything to go our way. We want to be in a situation where we can negotiate how we're going about what's happening in our life if we've got a spouse or if we've got children. Let's face it, children can be the ones who make us feel like we're all over the shop and things aren't going our way at times, especially if we've got teenagers. So we need to be able to add this to our tool set and get back on top of being able to manage what's happening for us, not just emotionally, but being able to put in a different perspective in our day-to-day life. So we want to, when we have this feeling like things are, it can feel like things are out of control, our emotions are dysregulated, and that means we feel like we're all over the shop, and every time we try to get back on track, it's like, how do I get off track in the first place? And sometimes it can be because we haven't learnt the information. Our mind is going from one place to another. But what we need to do is take a step back. So if you're in a situation where you see things on repeat, the pattern of other people's habits or how they're treating you is on repeat, or how you're responding to situations is on repeat, then we need to be able to go, right, I've got to take a step back here. Good morning, Diana. And when we do take a step back, we want to be able to be in a place where we can look at what we want to do. Now, if we need to vent, we're allowed to vent, but I want to teach you how to vent in a healthy way, not vent in a way that is all over the shop, and it's just anger that we haven't recognised. So if you want to deal with the actual anger, go back to yesterday's video where we explained the deeper wiring of what happens with anger for us, especially at the neurobiological level. And then when we want to vent, we don't want to linger there. So with a friend of mine, I had to say at one stage, look, I just need to vent. And then I knew that once I vented, that I would let go of it. So don't vent if you know that you're going to keep going on and on about it. You're not allowed to do that, okay? That's not being healthy. But if you want to vent, make sure you know that when you vent, that one, you're taking responsibility for your own emotions. Nobody causes how we feel. We can respond to how people are carrying on, but at the end of the day, we still have to want to be responsible for our emotions. So I said, look, I need to vent, and I just went blah. And I knew they would be okay because they know that I will take responsibility for what I need to do in this situation. So make sure that you're going to take responsibility for what you need to do in the situation and leave them to do their bit too. But be honest. Be honest that this is what you need and this is why you need it, because you just... Look, I said, look, I need to vent because I need to get this out of my system and I want to move on because I'm actually happy with my life. I just need to get this. It's like getting all the energy out of you and going, blah, right, that's it, that's done. Okay? And look, I felt better and I just moved on because it's like it tied everything together for me. So really take a step back and think about it. Know that you're not alone, all right? One of the things about coming out of a childhood with adverse childhood experiences, is that we can tend to feel that we're alone, but as adults, we need to seek out other people who can speak into our life, who we feel comfortable will be honest with us about what's going on, and let them tell us what they can see that we can't see. And people will do that if they know that we're going to take responsibility and go away and think about it. And the people, you know that people won't do that if their first response to everything, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've done that. The people that say that, you just know that nothing's hitting their heart centre, or they don't want to deal with what's hitting their heart centre because we haven't dealt with everything. We don't know everything, and when our brain's been offline with the neurobiology, you know, the computer's been soft-wired in a different way to a normal healthy pattern, then we're not going to be able to see everything. And I'm aware that I'm open to input. Remember our circle of two or three people that know everything about us, and then the circle of 10 to 12 who know us, they're acquaintances and we get on well, but they might not know the really deep inner stuff. They're the people that we have to be able to trust with us internally, and it works both ways. We need to feel that they can trust us too, that, you know, it's a two-way street, that no matter what we go through, no matter the challenges, that we'll all face them together going, yeah, we can work this out one way or another. We've got this. Okay, process your emotions. Take that step back and go, okay, do I need to journal? Journaling is the best self-reflective practice if you're prepared to look at yourself, your own responses, and how you want to change that as well. Take time out, go to the movies, listen to some music, do a meditation, whatever it is that removes you from that circumstance. So even during the day while I'm sitting here doing my work on the back end of my business, I'm aware when my thoughts start. It's like, did you ever play that game when you were a kid called Pick Up Straws? And you used to pull like all these thin straws out of a container. So the container was round and you'd pick them all up like that, and then you just drop them on the table, and then you had to pick one up without moving any others. Well, sometimes our brain or our thought process can feel like that everything, you've picked everything up, you're charging ahead, and the next thing you know, it's all splattered in front of you, and you're going, oh, whoops, which direction was I going? Even in that situation, I get up and I walk around, or I go outside, or I go for a drive. All right, so we want to be able to do these things for ourselves to regain our inner equilibrium, so to balance things out again. Acknowledge our thoughts. Oh my goodness. Be prepared to own your thoughts when you're ticked off, because if you don't, you'll bury them. Okay, it's really that simple. We've got to get used to acknowledging our thoughts. One of the things I found along the way that is the healthiest thing that we can do when our thoughts are negative is name them. So if our thoughts and our words are cynical, then look up the opposite meaning to cynical. Look up the antonym, not the synonym. Look up the antonym and start building that feeling into your heart center every time that you are aware that you're being cynical. All right? So whatever the emotion is, build that feeling into your heart center, and then you're not focusing on being cynical anymore. All right? Because if you focus on trying to fix cynical, you just make the problem bigger. Give yourself a break. All right. So pick one, do what you need to do. Uncover what really upsets you. So sometimes in communication and relationships, you walk away upset, you walk away not having shown that you're upset. Sometimes you walk away thinking, what on earth just happened here? And, I've done that before. What on earth just happened here? I just asked a simple question. And we have to be willing to sit down and go, well, what was I thinking? Which funnel did my thoughts take me down? And it wasn't exactly like the tubes funnels at Wet and Wild where you go down and have a great time. It was like this funnel that went somewhere, did the loop on the way, and then all of a sudden everything in front of you wasn't in the direction that you wanted it to go. And we can do that by beginning. If we do things like journaling and we sit down and go, well, this is what I was thinking. This is what I was wanting to pursue. And in the early days too, we need to do this because then we're able to identify our pattern of where we feel uncomfortable speaking up. And when we can identify that, it then becomes easier to continue a conversation. And I've been there where words have just been stuck. I haven't been able to say anything because I've lost track of what's going on. I haven't understood a bigger picture and perception. So, and that's okay. That is more than okay. So we go, oh, okay. But we can change our thoughts and how we're feeling if we know what they are and they're not working for us. Okay. And have fun with it too. Oh my goodness. We have to do this enough. So I've learnt to laugh at myself and go, oh my goodness, I just so did not understand. And it can be the simplest things. My kids live in the same house, but not with me. So we're all in different parts. And I took my daughter down to an appointment the other day, and she got out of the car and said to me something along the lines of, meaning, I'll be there waiting for her. And I said, no, like she just used one word, and I go, no, I'm going away. And I was just joking, but we all have Asperger's in this house. So we're very careful with our communication. And she said, oh, so what do I do? Do I, who do I ring? Do I catch a bus? What do I do to go home? And I'm looking at her going, what are you talking about? And she said, oh, I thought you meant you were going. I said, no, I was joking, I'm here. So we really do have to be aware that we can have different communication styles, and when we clarify, and look, we laugh. We do laugh now. Now that we understand that we all communicate differently, we laugh. So laugh. Laughter will get you through a lot. And being prepared to understand that we speak with a different way will help all of us communicate more effectively. And I can be so guilty of this, not guilty as in a bad way. It's just that I'll be talking with a friend of mine, and all of a sudden, because of how my brain functions, I'll take what they're saying seriously or literally. I'll take what they're saying literally and they mean it as a joke. And I have to go, oh, whoops. I just went off on my own pathway then. So, we all do different things. And it helps if we laugh. Take a look at what obstacles you can manage. All right. So remember, our first response from the deepest parts of our brains with complex PTSD is we're wired to a fear response, whereas somebody who hasn't experienced trauma is wired to, well, this is manageable. So we can train ourselves to, okay, all of this is happening. I haven't put the pieces of the puzzle together yet, but it's going to be manageable. I don't have to be afraid of this. I'm going to be able to manage this because I'm an adult, and what I don't know, I am willing, I am prepared to walk on water. That's me. I'm prepared to walk on water to find out what it is I need to know so I can be healthy. I do. I will do whatever it takes to be well. And analyse the situation into actionable steps. So once you've sat down and go, well, I can manage this, then you're going to say, okay, well, how am I going to manage it? What actionable steps do I need to take? And in the early part of it, your actionable steps may include an apology to the other person, and be heart sincere, because let's face it, we all know if somebody apologises and they're saying it just because they have to apologise, not because they sincerely mean it from their heart. And you can do a wee experiment on your kids as well. Teach your kids to say I'm sorry, and when you stand there, and when they stand there and you say, right, you've got to apologise to each other, sorry, barely falls out of their mouth. But teach them, no, we apologise from our heart and we mean it, okay? And if you need to just take some time out till they can process their emotions and they can mean it, then that's okay too. Actually, that's one of the things I really insisted with my kids, is that they learn how to apologise and mean it from their heart. And look, they're three adults who are very different, and they all are able to sit down and work through their miscommunications and apologise to each other and be willing to understand each other. That's a really healthy thing to do. If you're with somebody who's not willing to understand, then that's a whole different conversation we need to have. Okay, and look at how it occurred so you don't want to go on repeat. So when that happens, you're able to say, stop. Okay, I should have got my big round red piece of cardboard out and say, stop. I don't want to go down the same path again. So we need to work out a way that we're not going down the same path again. So that's when you're in relationship with somebody else. And then for yourself, you've got to go, stop. It's like putting a big stop sign up in front of your forehead and going, no, stop. I don't want to go down this path again. I can see that I'm going down the same path and I don't want to, so I'm going to choose to do something different. And honestly, reach out to a professional if you need to, because they will have a different perspective and be able to ask you questions to give you information to think about or to look into as well. I didn't really like this next one. It says, understand the situation could be worse, because part of me in the past would have gone, damn it, how can this be worse? And sometimes, honestly, when you're going through a really hard time, it really doesn't feel like it could be worse. And for me, when I couldn't walk or talk or take care of myself, it would have been easy to go, well, that's it, life's over. But I didn't want to understand that this could be worse. What I wanted to focus on was this couldn't be any worse. Let's get this better. Okay. So change that around into a positive, as in, what do I want to pursue the most in life? Okay. What shifts my heart? And it's not about this situation, understanding that it could be worse. Yeah, that's a valid point to a degree, but we don't want to end up in the negativity of that statement. That statement to me can be a bit negative. I want to be able to say, okay, it could be worse, but I want to make it better. I want to be focused on what I can do to participate in the health of my life in each aspect. Okay, do your best, and remember, you can't reason with unreasonable people. No matter what we want to do, no matter how we want to solve things, no matter how much we want to connect, no matter how much we desire to be understood and have healthy relationships, we cannot reason with unreasonable people. And that can be heartbreaking too, because when we love people, we really want to be able to sit and walk with them Sorry, sit and walk with them. But that's true. We want to be able to be in that space in our life where we can be fully known and fully understood, and they can be fully known and fully understood. Okay? But if they're being unreasonable consistently over a period of time, then that's a habit that they have, and we can't change that, and sometimes we just have to take a step back. Remember, through all of this, seek professional help, whether it's a therapist, a trauma coach, a pastor, a mentor. Seek somebody outside of the situation in order to gain insight. And so I have people in my life that I can go to and say, this is what's happening, and it's either to help me process it so I can see the bigger picture, or it's to ask them for input. But be very clear in your communication what you need from that time with the communication. What do you need? Do I just need to sit and talk this through so I can understand it better? Or do I need to develop greater skill sets, greater strategies in order that I can navigate this next step of my pathway? Okay, and I believe in you, and I know you can do it. Absolutely, you can do this. I want to thank you all for coming this morning and joining in. I hope this helps. Remember, grab your journal, watch the video again, share it for the silent majority who still have not learned that they can have their voice too, and I'm telling you, it's a silent majority out there. I'm going to have a wonderful day, so I hope you are too. Blessings and dreams, and I will talk to you again or share with you again tomorrow morning. Bye for now.